First of all, this bill is not about children. This bill is about 16 and 17-year-olds. These are youth workers that are driving automobiles. These are not children.
Man, Republicans really care about protecting kids when it comes to the dangers of drag queens or protecting them when they're just a sack of cells in the womb. But my God, they really don't care about kids for as much as they are pushing for child labor. We need more grunt workers so we can make more profit. She needs 16-year-olds to work at Starbucks so she can order her daily morning $10 frappe, cappuccino, whatever she probably orders that has like 20 million steps. These 16 and 17-year-olds can't be making decisions about their sexuality or whether they're trans or whether they're cis, and they can't go to drag shows and they can't be exposed to any of that, but they sure can work. They're not minors when it comes to the workforce, even though legally, technically, they're still minors. They're not minors unless they're mining, literally.
There've been, for the past several years, there's been hundreds of child labor violations here, including a 195.8 increase between 2000 and 2022. Adding this bill here, do you think that would increase that and the child would be taken advantage of? Statistics suggest they would be.
Representative Cheney.
Thank you, Chair Soroy. Thank you, Rep. Casello, for that question. First of all, this bill is not about children. This bill is about 16 and 17-year-olds. These are youth workers that are driving automobiles. These are not children. There are hazardous workforce protections in place in Florida that are more stringent than the federal protections. And the study that you reference is 281 individual cases, which just one case is too many, but 281 out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of workers is maybe not as much as the percentage that you presented. And I would say that if there are violations that are happening, there are laws in place. Those violations should be reported. Those employers should be held accountable.
There are laws in place, and if those laws are violated, then those workplaces should be held accountable. Except we're trying to change those laws so that those no longer count as violations. We're not talking about the substance of the law, we're just talking about the technicalities, which soon won't matter anyway because we're about to change them. Listen, I'm not opposed to a 16-year-old having a summer job at the banana stand or whatever, but they're trying to take advantage of these minors, and they're trying to make it so that they can't report a violation because there's no violation to be had. Not to mention, minors don't always really know how to stand up for themselves in the workplace. They've spent the past, 16 years of their lives having to raise their hand to ask an adult if they can go to the bathroom. They're going to believe whatever an adult tells them at the workplace. They're not going to know, you can't do that, that's a violation, and I'm going to report it. They don't know that.
18 years old, I started working at 15, so I understand the struggle that he's describing. But it's very important to have these laws in place. We do not want minors who go into high school working 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. How are they going to function at school? I know people who did that, working under the table, and they did not succeed in high school. You cannot succeed in high school if you are going straight from work to school. As well, with my personal experience, it is necessary for minors to be able to have a 30-minute lunch break. You have to be able to recover, especially whenever you are new to work and you don't really understand the laws. And one last thing I want to point out is, I did not know as a minor how to report workplace violations. Minors don't know how to do that. They don't know the law. You say get informed, they're not going to get informed. They have more important things. They got school, work, make time for friends. They're not going to care about reading some legal document to understand how the law works. So yes, we have these laws, but they don't matter if they can't be enforced.
That 16-year-old that I mentioned working the banana stand in the summer is an example, but the ones that are at risk are the children that are being forced to work to help support their families because the government has failed to do so. I'm talking about the children who are failing in school because they don't have time to do homework or study for tests because they're busy working extra shifts so that they can help support their family to pay bills. Instead of working on the system to help elevate people who are in a more downtrodden situation, we're just moving back child labor laws so that we can put more of their family to work so that they keep getting ground up in the same system and they stay on the bottom. Not to mention all the positions where there is actual physical danger involved and minors are getting hurt at places like meat packaging factories. Kids should be focusing on school, they should be focusing on friends, they should be focusing on finding and creating themselves and finding their place in the world. They should be focused on being kids, not being workers. That will come, and it already comes too soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out some of my content that isn't news related, you can check out my personal YouTube channel at Bad Gamer Wyatt. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.